Chicken.
Oh,
Oh, you got
hello.
chicken.
I think we're live now.
I'm partially confident that we are live, in fact.
Are you?
I have no idea what's going on.
You guys, if we are live, and I'm actually talking,
I think so.
you guys missed out on some great content. Billy told us we were live, and I went on probably the best speech I've ever given in my life.
It was we were 37 seconds into it, so I don't know how wonderful it was, but
The best. You know the writing in Mass Effect when Shepard gives a speech before every suicide mission? It was that level.
I think it was more like the writing in Mass Effect when you had only 3 choices at the end of a very massive, beautiful game, and it was which color do you want?
Could be.
I think that's more likely.
So
okay.
we
it's
are live.
working. We are live. It's working.
All right.
Not sure what the hell
It's
happened.
working.
I hit power buttons. I blame Dylan.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
we
it's all my
saw
fault.
Deadpool, Wolverine. It was good. It was great. Thoughts? Go.
I loved it. By far, my favorite Deadpool movie out of all 3. I love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Hugh Jackman is perfect as Wolverine, and I love that we finally get to see them be in a whole movie together. Their chemistry was perfect. It felt like I was reading right out of the comics, pretty much.
Dare I say it, off the chain.
Off the chain. Which Deadpool doesn't use chains, but Ghost Rider does. Connections.
Biggest spoiler, Ghost Rider was
Is not in it.
I love how we immediately derail.
Yep.
Like
yep.
we haven't even remotely began to scratch the surface.
I'm
and
going.
we immediately derail.
Give me.
Okay.
I really liked it though.
Ghost
So I'll say that the movie felt really well paced. I enjoyed the comedy. There was a bunch of cameos. It was a bunch of honestly, it was a bunch of fan service, almost like No Way Home. But it felt done respectfully, and it felt done. It didn't feel like it was just done for laughs. It felt like it had a purpose. And personally, I was never a huge fan of the Fox X-Men universe. I watched the movies, I watched every one of them, but I could give a crap.
There was some standouts.
Yeah,
so-
Hugh Jackman. I love the Wolverine.
And we talked about this
Wolverine
before. Weren't we all huge fans of X-Men First Class?
We were, yeah. So there's standouts, but
Yeah.
I never liked the
As a
original
whole.
X-Men, X1, X2, X3. I didn't really. I was like, okay, they're all in black leather, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. Where's
leather
my
scares
yellow
me.
suit? But we finally get to see Wolverine in the yellow suit, which was dope. And the cameos, we got to see Blade, we got to see Elektra, we got to see Gambit. Channing Tatum is Gambit. We got to see Johnny Storm. And there's just so much in this movie to talk about, but just overall, I loved it, and I would recommend anyone to go see it. As if you're a fan of Marvel and if you're a fan of the MCU in general,
We
and
put a
the
spoiler
X-Men.
tag on this, right? Did we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
definitely.
Because I feel like we have so much to get into, but I don't
I titled it complete discussion, so I would hope that
I'm just saying.
just
We're going to disappoint tens of people if we don't.
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, so
There's dozens of
I would just recommend it, and then we'll get yours, and we'll dive in because there's so much to talk about. But we have to discuss it. It's not just I can just be like, yeah, by the way,
See it.
Gamble was
Gamble.
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 I thought he said Gambo.
Gamble channel
Little
type.
Gambo.
Gamble up in here.
All right, what did you think, Mr. Billy?
I thought it was great. I thought it was so much fun. It was just a fun film. That to me, it was a very adult, fun film.
Oh, it was rated R. Disney's first rated R.
Apparently, Disney's very first ever rated R film, which is
That's what they say.
crazy to think about. Isn't it a company been making film for over 100 years, right? That's kind of wild to think about. That this is the first time. So that's kind of exciting. Maybe there's a new path for them. It's blowing all the box office stuff out of the water. It was already projected insane levels, and it's even it's 20 or 30% higher than that.
Yeah, was it on 400 million right now or something like that?
Yeah, it's something crazy.
Maybe even higher.
But it's just it's a family fun film. No, it is just a fun film to go and see. As a fan, there's a bunch of fan service, which doesn't necessarily just make a film good. I felt like they balanced it really well. It wasn't over the top. It was stuff that you didn't telegraph it from a mile away. It was the last scene with Wolverine and Deadpool. They're linking these two electric beams together or whatever, and all of a sudden his shirt blasts off. Like
Only his.
right,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Deadpool's somehow
necessarily
unaffected.
it wasn't necessarily like obvious, right?
Yeah.
And so like that was going to happen. It just kind of hit you. It took a very serious moment into like, oh my God, this movie's really fun. It was a really, really fun film. And the writing was so phenomenal. They know how to write Deadpool.
Oh yeah. I think
it's Ryan Reynolds, I
Ryan
guess.
Reynolds
Yeah.
knows how to write Deadpool.
And I think
perfect.
this, in my opinion, this is like his truest to form of Deadpool. I felt like Deadpool 1 and 2 were close, but this feels the most like comic book. Like it felt like the same Deadpool from the comic books to me.
Mhm.
Whereas the movies felt a little bit different. But I feel this one really lined up for me.
What'd you think?
Oh man, dude, it sucked.
I knew it.
Anyways, I loved it. It was the most fun I've had in a film in a while. I think there's been a few like really good post Thanos Marvel films. But it has really only been like a handful. The other ones were okay. Some of them were just downright not good at all. This one for me is right at the top. Now that I've had the time to digest, I don't know if I would put it above like, No Way Home, but it definitely is one that I had more enjoyment, like just overall.
Yeah.
Like it had the right amount of like fan service. But it was done in a way that was like, it wasn't cheap. I think that's people's problem isn't fan service. People love fan service. That's why it's called fan service. People's problem is when they feel like that is in place of good writing.
When it's just kind of given just to give.
Right. This had great writing. This was true to form Deadpool, and also like one of the most accurate depictions of Wolverine too, which we didn't talk about, but this was a really good comic book accurate Wolverine. I also feel like there's a lot of potential on like these characters now in the MCU, and they leave that door open, but it could also just stand on its own and kind of end right there, and that's okay too. And overall, I don't think that it could have been done any more perfect. We talked a little bit about the writing in it, and Ryan Reynolds was one of the lead writers of this film because he loves this character,
Which is incredible.
so much. And I was watching an interview where they said, what gave you the idea of wanting to be in Deadpool? And there was actually a Deadpool comic from like 2004 or something like that.
Him by name, right?
That mentioned him by name. That
Yeah.
said, someone like asked Deadpool, like, what did you look like before all the scarring? And he said a lot like Ryan Reynolds, just like as a joke.
Yeah.
And then that's what made Ryan Reynolds fall in love with the character.
Yeah.
And like, talk about just like the writer who wrote that line probably never imagined that would
would
lead to
evolve to
anything,
this.
to evolve to anything. And it did. That's crazy. I've been seeing it's been getting, the reviews have been definitely positive, but it's not like from critics, it's very mixed. But the audiences,
Even movie reviewers, like a couple that I watch on YouTube, it's mixed. And I'm like, I
don't agree with that. This
Well-
was like a perfect film
So
for
let-
what it is.
Before we
Yeah.
dive into like maybe some of the criticisms and the reviews, I do want to touch on one thing that you mentioned. Have you guys seen the new Hot Ones episode? With
not yet.
I did. I watched it.
You did.
Uh-huh.
So you were talking about like the writing and stuff like that, and actually, it's towards the end. I think it's.
I
Right
think
after
maybe
they
that's
do
where
the-
I heard the Deadpool Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, maybe.
I think it might have been
maybe.
in the Hot Ones thing. But anyways, go ahead.
Maybe, but he has this whole like part in there where he talks about modern cinema and how they try to use spectacle over like character, and he's trying to like bring that back. Not trying to bring that back, but that's one of the things that he focuses on is I'm going to like the spectacle just kind of comes along with the movie, and obviously this is going to have A tier, it's Deadpool, Wolverine, Marvel, $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're gonna
$200
juice
million
it.
budget, I think.
Yeah, they're gonna juice it. So, but he is like, we still can't just lean on that being the movie, right? You think of like Godzilla, Kong, or whatever. Like, you go to there, you just expect to see it's spectacle. You expect to see shit blowing up. That's what you're there for. But he said that like in his opinion, it's so critical to nail the character piece, which is the writing component, which I think we've just gotten away from.
Yeah.
You know, like we've gotten away from just writing like really good stories. And they're honestly like just they're a little pale, and they nailed it with this movie. They nailed it so well. So let's dive into the reviews, because I have seen this. A lot of the, I guess to surmise what I've seen is people have said 10 out of 10 fun, 6 out of 10 story, and it was like, okay,
I don't know if
I
that's
thought that was
a
interesting.
fair, accurate representation of what we actually saw on screen, though. You
Yeah.
know, I think that there was a lot of heart in this. I do think that at times, you know, the plot felt convenient, you know, in some ways. I don't want to spend too much time on the criticisms, because it's not really criticism. It's just like, okay, I could see why someone might think that is maybe a little convenient. One of them being the main villain, what's her name? Cassandra Nova.
Yeah.
How she didn't get involved in the final fight for really no reason, like other than the fact that if she was involved, she would just kill them all instantly.
Yeah.
And then as like a plot device, like, you know, him talking to her and being like, you know, Charles would have done nothing to, like, he wouldn't have stopped if he knew you were in here, and it like made her good for just long enough to,
Yeah.
you know, get
to
it.
send them back.
And that was really because they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with her power levels, because they knew that she wasn't going to lose that fight. So that I get that, but like,
But even to that point, like to counter argument that, she didn't give a fuck about the real world.
she didn't care.
At that point, she wanted to be the king of the void, the queen of the void.
Right.
That was so like, it was not really a loss. It wasn't like her being this benevolent being when she let him leave. Like basically, it's not her problem anymore. She wanted to rule the void. And then at the end, there's the whole twist of her coming out and stuff. But yeah,
I think also the performances, you know, it's a comedic film at heart for sure. Like it really is like a comedy, and then it's like an action comedy first and foremost. But Hugh Jackman, and this is going to get overlooked because of the whole nature of the film overall, but Hugh Jackman's performance in this rivaled anything he did in Logan.
Yeah.
Like especially that part at the end when he's talking, and I forget exactly how he says it, but he's just like, you know, all my whole life, I was a failure, and it's like, but I'm not. I'm an X-Man. I'm the X-Man. But like the way that Hugh Jackman delivers that line, that's definitely up there with anything that he did in some of his best performances, like in Logan, where that Logan is the one that people compare it to. Like, this is Wolverine at its peak. This is definitely a different film than that for sure, but just as powerfully acted as that film. And I think people are going to sleep on that because it's a Deadpool movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the line that stuck with me, unfortunately, I don't remember exactly, but it's when X-23, Laura, comes to Wolverine when he's sitting on the log, and he's like, "I'm not the one you rely on," or whatever, and she's like, "Yeah, I know, but you'll still show up."
She said, "Yeah." He says, "I'm not the guy you think I am. I'm the wrong guy." And she says, "You were always the wrong guy until you weren't." And that's perfectly sums up like Wolverine, you know?
And it's so good. Like,
So
I
good.
love that line. I'm like, ooh. And that, like, summed up the whole character arc of Logan in, like, 10 words.
that's like any character arc where it's like someone who has always been bad and then makes the shift to good. You can just summarize it in that.
You
one
could
line.
almost, Hugh Jackman's take on Wolverine, I think every single one of his films, his character, he's known as this like gruff, angry, like, you know, cut your head off guy. But his actions are always motivated by like love.
Yeah.
You got Rogue in like the first three, Rogue and Jean, you know, in the first three movies. Then you have like that woman that pretended to be his wife in X-Men Origins. You have, what's her name in X-Men Wolverine?
The Wolverine?
And the Wolverine.
Yeah.
God, what is her name? No, not Yukio. Yukio's friend.
I don't
Silver
remember.
Samurai's daughter.
Yeah.
You know, like so he's a big old softie.
He's a big old
you
teddy
know?
bear.
And then in Logan, of course, with his clone daughter.
Laura, yeah.
You know, that's who his character is. He's driven and motivated by family. And that I think that shines through true here too, And it's almost like the loss of his family this time around, and all the mistakes he made, and he turned it around almost, and like had his moment where he could be the Logan that he hears about, because this other one was so incredible. This
Yeah.
one, and he never was that, and then he got to be that Logan in this film. If it wasn't such a funny movie, it'd tear your heart out.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It is so good. It is so good. So let's dive into, I guess, any criticisms or weaknesses of the film that we might have, because I think we all agree for me, it was 10 out of 10. That was a masterpiece. I loved everything about it.
No.
But I do have a couple knocks, but it's not even really about the film. What's going on with the TVA? Who are these people? What is this management hierarchy that they have in place?
And what is with all these mid-level management characters that have the power to destroy?
An
the world.
entire timeline, and like it's like a paperwork error, and they like joke about it, and it's like, what the fuck is going
It's
on?
terribly ran, the TVA.
It's so poorly ran, and it's like the most powerful organization ever, and it's just like random Joe Schmoes,
And-
wearing TVA badges. Like they have the power to fucking erase you from every
Yeah.
timeline, or your timeline, or whatever. It's
Send
like
you to the void.
to the void where there's no escape. Like what the fuck is that?
And they don't have powers, they're just people.
Yeah.
Like
Just regular people.
It's bonkers. Like it's so wild. So I'm kind of tired of seeing the chaos of the TVA, like
Yeah.
of just because it's starting to make like no sense in terms of the power cap or its purpose and how it's ran and how it's structured. It's like these people and there's just so many of them, and I need a little bit of like a synopsis of what the hell the TVA is in the MCU and what that's like.
I don't know if they'll
It's starting to
deliver it
wear a
either.
little bit.
The new plan, they're shifting away completely from Kang.
No more Kang.
No more Kang. And we'll talk about this later before we go into the big reveal around that. But the new plan is in the next Avengers film, Avengers Doomsday, something's going to happen that's going to completely shatter the multiverse altogether and bring it all into one reality, essentially. And that's going to be at the end of the next Avengers film.
It's probably going to be Peter Parker. Your favorite,
Get the fuck out of here.
So they recognize that as well, and the multiverse it's a dead story arc now. It's going away, and they're shifting directions and they're shifting tones, and we'll just see how well they do it. But I do like what I'm seeing as far as like what they're going to try and do to get this pulled off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you. Like
What's
that's
going on?
my one of my main knocks is, even though it was a really good set piece when it was Wolverine and Deadpool versus the army of Deadpools, I am kind of getting that multiverse burnout where like I don't need that in every movie. That was the plot line for like literally the last 10 movies.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's like,
kind of
oh,
over
there's
it.
multiple versions of you. Like,
Yeah,
isn't it so weird?
I'm not a fan of the inconsistencies of it, because sometimes they look the exact same, sometimes it's completely different actors.
Yeah, and
sometimes-
why is it that our character that we've been following around is just so much better than all the rest of them?
Why
Like
is
in this film,
616 the
Deadpool-
sacred
yeah.
time?
Like
He's
this
the prime
Deadpool just
Deadpool.
slaughtered 100 of him.
Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
Deadpool
Like
was
what the fuck?
the
What-
best Deadpool.
But like to be able, it's not like just like, oh yeah, he's the best. It's like he took on 100 of himself. He has to be like orders of magnitude better than every other Deadpool. It's like, what? How did we nail that? In
And
this?
he's not
Wolverine
even-
was there.
Yeah, right.
He's
And-
not even from the sacred timeline.
I know.
He's from
And the Logan that was there was
he's
the
from
first
the
Wolverine.
Fox timeline.
I mean, I guess you could look at it as the TVA were trying to pull him into the sacred timeline, so obviously he is special.
they
Compared,
did say that in the beginning. That's
Yeah.
true.
He said he was MCU Jesus, and like
He is unique.
Well, I think that was just Paradox trying to get.
But
what he
this
wanted,
Logan
but-
was apparently not the best Logan, and he still kicked ass. So.
right. He was the worst Logan.
Yeah.
Yet he's still like, and seemingly, he basically didn't really have much fighting experience. He never was part of the X-Men, and then turned his back on like the whole thing.
I
Like,
think
he slaughtered humans, just regular Joes, but like he didn't really have that much experience like fighting real shit.
I think he was part of the X-Men, but I think he was always like a
Outsider.
Like he never
A
like
guest.
fully allowed himself to be a part of the team because he didn't want a family or whatever. But I think this version of Logan went through his fair share of wars.
He said he's been around 200 years.
Yeah. Like I don't think that he was just like I think the whole he's the worst Logan thing has nothing to do with his ability. I think it has more to do with his
His
choices that he's made.
Mm.
And that's what I'm equating it to because he's also like this version of Wolverine, fucked up Sabretooth.
Killed him one swipe.
Like
I'm glad.
samurai style, and the other versions of Wolverine had a much harder time fighting Sabretooth.
Yeah, I'm really glad about that because I'm like, I was all for all the fighting, but at that point, I'm like, do we need to keep seeing like that? To me, would have felt like too much fan service. It was just like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it, he's from the other film. Like, okay, cool. He does that, and I'm like, great. Let's move on. Let's get into something interesting. Any thoughts on your criticisms before we move on?
I honestly can't think of any that like jumped to my mind watching it. I would have to probably see it again. Maybe
You're such a narrative dude. How did you feel about the narrative? I know that seemingly is the knock. Is everybody saying that the storytelling was weak? To me, part of the storytelling is the dialogue and language used to get there, and I thought that was A tier, S tier.
I thought the story was great, and I think it had equal parts heart and comedy, and it had a really good barometer of when to do each. Right?
Yeah.
Like it knew when to make you understand Deadpool as a human, that like he does love his family, his found family, and that's his main motivation. And
It's really hard to balance that.
Yeah.
We've seen that with Thor: Love and
Love and
Thunder, and for me, I know that people liked it, but that was my problem with Ragnarok as well. Is I felt like they really didn't know how to balance the heart and humor, and this was, for me, it was like the funniest MCU film that's ever been released, and it didn't sacrifice the heart for me. The heart was still there, and it was done well. And so I think that's a difficult thing to pull off. And I don't know if it's specifically Ryan Reynolds' writing, or if it just happens to be like Sean Levy, his direction. But however they did it well.
Well, let's talk about the big reveal that happened like the same night of the release
there
of
was
this
the whole
show.
con was happening around Marvel at that time. I didn't even know
Is
that.
it Comic-Con or
It
was
was
it like an
Comic-Con.
off Comic-Con?
It was Comic-Con.
It was San Diego Comic-Con?
SDCC.
How did I not even hear about that happening? Like,
I
I
don't
thought
know.
that
I
was
was
in
there.
May.
Just kidding.
I thought it was supposed to happen in like March
I got a
or
press
May.
badge.
Yeah.
For Katie Ratio.
You guys didn't get yours? No.
Nope.
So I talked about it earlier, right? The big reveal is they're getting rid of Kang altogether. No more Kang movies.
They're bringing back the Russo Bros.
Bringing back the Russo Bros. The new big bad is the one we've been wanting. Well, me specifically, but we've been talking about for like a couple years now.
Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom. But even bigger reveal than that is Robert Downey Jr. is going to
Playing
play
him.
him. What's your initial reaction to that?
I only have one reaction total. Fine. as long as he is still Tony Stark.
Yeah.
If he's just fucking Doctor Doom and it's like, oh, he's gonna kill the role and it's still probably gonna be a good movie. But if he's not Tony Stark, or they somehow explain why he's there, it's gonna be a huge miss, I think, on me and a lot of the audience. But if they want to say, oh, this universe, or I guess figuring back in that multiverse, I don't know.
Well, multiverse can apply very easily to the beginning of the film. It's just by the end of it, the multiverse is getting shattered. So there's still plenty of multiversal opportunity to explain how Tony Stark is Doctor Doom.
But then it's going to collide.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, now he's the Tony Stark. We're going to watch a whole film and Tony Stark isn't going to comment on like this guy threatening the world, like the actual Tony Stark. Like he's not going to know. Wouldn't the best way to fight Tony Stark as Doctor Doom be Tony Stark in your world?
Well,
So
Tony
like,
Stark's dead.
yeah, well, we're talking about multiverse, or we're still talking about the multiverse, though. That idea.
I think that I don't know if we're ever going to see any version
as
of
Iron
Tony
Man, right.
come back.
Yeah.
So I sent this. This was the theory that I read kind of right off the rip. And I think that there's actually some credence to it, and I would like to see some variation of this. But the theory that I saw that people are kind of bouncing back and forth right now is Doctor Doom is going to be played by Robert Downey Jr. because it is technically Tony Stark. And in this alternate timeline, his parents were murdered when he was much younger. He was like a baby. And he gets kidnapped by the Winter Soldier, taken to Hydra, and then Doctor Doom's family, the Von Dooms, are members of Hydra. They raise Tony Stark in Latveria, which is where Doctor Doom is from. And he's raised as Victor Von Doom, not Tony Stark, but it's the same person, but just completely different upbringing. And then that would be the idea around why this version of Tony Stark is actually Victor Von Doom.
It's still, I don't know. He's getting paid $80 million. I'll repeat that. $80 million
I heard you.
to do
Yeah, you didn't have to repeat it.
one more time. $80
2 more times.
million.
There's Doomsday and
3
there's
more times.
Fantastic Four and Secret Wars.
I think his origin's gonna.
Wait, that's for all those films?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. then
I
I'm good
think
with
his origin story is going to be much more explained in the Fantastic Four film, and then Doomsday is going to be. It's going to be like the Doomsday movie. It's going to be Doctor Doom movie. It's kind of the way Infinity War was.
Thanos's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that. $80 million.
How much?
It's a lot of fucking
How
money.
much?
If all I'm saying is if Doctor Doom is Tony Stark, or if it's the same person, that's really the only way I could think of that actually making sense.
Well,
I don't want it to just be Tony Stark decided to be evil in one timeline. I want something more organic than that. I don't want just like he's Tony Stark and then he decides to change his name to Victor Von Doom, or not even Victor Von Doom, just Tony Stark is Doctor Doom. I would much rather a much more ingrained reason of why he's, and being raised by Hydra
would make sense.
would make much more sense to me than, and it doesn't mean he will represent Hydra. It just means that he has maybe a completely different mindset, and he could, the movie could open with him killing all of Hydra and taking over Latveria as the new dictator. Like it doesn't mean he has to be an agent of Hydra. It just means that he was bred different than he
all I'm
built
saying,
different.
all I'm saying is I need an explanation, and it's got to be damn good
Well, I want to open up.
because it'll just be awkward.
Yeah, I want to open it up for like the things. If Kyle's right, the things I'm excited for would be, so if we get to Secret Wars, right? Because obviously, like, Doomsday will probably be about Doom's story, and maybe he wins, or who knows, whatever. But Secret Wars is like the collapsing of different multiverses. So we're gonna see, we will probably see Chris Evans again as Captain America. We'll probably see, people we know. Imagine, like, those would create great scenes if Steve Rogers sees Tony, but like it's Doom, but sees that it's Tony. Or like Spider-Man.
Or if he takes advantage of that,
Yeah.
and starts killing heroes.
Yeah, like
Just they
Spider-Man
don't-
sees his hero, the guy that helped him is now evil. That'd be, I know you hate Spider-Man, but that would be a great arc for Spider-Man.
How is that a great arc for Spider-Man? Oh, you're not the same guy.
Well, he'd have to fight
I mean,
him.
we've seen a slaughtering. We just watched Deadpool. He slaughtered himself hundreds of times over.
That
And now
seems
this
irrelevant.
one arc is,
Yeah, I don't know how that's relevant.
but now this
The
is
same arc applies to Captain America too.
Tony.
Spider-Man was the closest to Iron Man. Well, we're gonna have.
I'd say War
Yeah.
Machine. Was
I guess.
probably-
We're gonna have Pepper and Rhodey be up there like.
See,
Tony.
now we're getting into the realm of like way too much.
I
fan
don't
service.
want that.
I don't
Yeah,
want. That.
I don't
I don't
want
want
them.
exactly. I don't want the film. It doesn't need to be about. Give me Doctor Doom. Give me something new. I don't need to see
That's what
all
I'm
these
saying.
people.
So that's what
exactly.
I'm saying about why I don't want it to just be Tony Stark decides to be Doctor Doom. I need it can be the same person, but I need it to be Victor Von Doom.
Yes.
And that's the only way I can see the same actor playing Victor Von Doom is if he's raised as Victor Von Doom, because in this timeline, his parents died when he was a baby and he was kidnapped and sent to
Yeah.
Latveria.
And I'm agreeing with that. I'm just saying you present these opportunities for characters who might recognize
I don't
him.
want that.
I do think
I don't want it. I don't want it to distract. I don't give a fuck that it's the same. That's what I'm saying. I want it to be an authentic story to Doctor Doom and have something new. I don't want 30 minutes in my 2-hour-long movie about characters having some existential crisis because, oh, that looks like Tony Stark. I don't give a shit about that.
But Doctor Doom's always been he's a villain, but doesn't he kind of border on he does good things sometimes. Very, very
yeah,
rarely.
but it's never for the
I don't
sake
have
of
any- I don't
it's
know.
never for the sake of like his people.
I thought it was always for the sake of Latveria. Latveria at the expense of others.
But we risk running into like presenting him as if he's like similar to like Magneto. It's not really the same thing.
What if they turn him into that?
I don't want him to be that. I want him to be Victor Von Doom,
But
Doctor
doesn't-
Doom.
Doom is in my oh yeah. Okay. I was gonna say, in my opinion, he's kind of the way Magneto cares about mutants is the way Doom cares about Latveria, right?
Maybe. I think Doctor Doom is an incredible villain, but I would much rather see a very ruthless, like Walter White level of methodical like approach than I would like to see another Magneto like portrayal.
Well, he could still be methodical, but he could still be like that's the biggest part of Thanos, right? Is Thanos is believable. He's he's an alien, but he's human. Like
Yeah.
you root.
I don't necessarily need that. I want to see somebody come in and start killing
So
heroes.
you want like evil twisting their mustache villain?
not twisting mustache.
I'm evil.
I don't want a caricature. I want someone to come in, and I want like I don't want obviously this is just me for just being dramatic, but I would love to see him come in and just fucking like start killing beloved heroes and just be evil.
Didn't Thanos do that?
No,
He snapped and half the universe was gone.
not
Not initially.
That's easier to take than if he were to like just start killing like heroes. Like I want him to be evil. I don't want him to be like
Fence sitter.
I don't want him to be like because then it runs the risk of like he's gonna in the last moment be like I'm doing this for my people and like that can be good and we've seen it done well with other characters, but that's also been done a lot. Like I want the Avengers to go up against a threat that sometimes bad guys are just bad. We don't need.
And I don't want it to be interesting because he's Tony Stark. I want it to be interesting because he's a really good Doctor Doom and a really good villain. So let me read you this. I got this little Marvel encyclopedia.
But he could easily go that way because his character.
Yeah,
is
I
like
kind of
that.
see it.
Well, I think you're fucking
That's
right.
my prediction.
I think you're fucking right because listen to this. You ready for this? Spoilers for the next decade. So I don't know how this book is organized, but it looks like there's like 3 different maybe sub stories to the character Doctor Doom here, and this one is just called the Doomed Hero. But effectively, here it is: that Doom, working with Molecule Man, which I'm not familiar with, and Doctor Strange, basically went around and salvaged portions of reality as a new battle world. A godlike Doom then installed himself as ruler with Sue Richards as his wife.
He sounds like a real
and then
good guy.
Franklin Richards as his kids. And so then basically he had survived the destruction of his reality, appeared on the battle room, Doom's control began to slip, read, blah, 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 blah. So what I'm thinking of is, okay, what if he somehow tricks Doctor Strange into work, using your analogy of what you think is going to happen, which I definitely think it's plausible. I'm just saying I don't want it.
Yeah.
They somehow construct this new reality. And he takes the face of like the most beloved hero on Earth, which is Tony fucking Stark. And so then that's the story there. So he's like,
I would like that.
Right? Because here's the thing. Now it's technically not Tony Stark. It's Doctor Doom. He's just using his face. I'm okay with that, actually.
I could see
and he
that.
creates like a regime, but he's
Yeah, and it's just his physical appearance because he had seriously damaged facial scars or whatever, and that's why he's constructed this new reality, and so that's the idea. I'm okay with that. I could vibe with that.
Well, that's the thing is Battle World, that's Secret Wars. So they are definitely going
They're doing that,
They're doing
yeah.
that. And a lot of people think that it is going to be Doom who's going to. Well, I mean, you can connect the dots, but they think that Doom is obviously going to do the same thing where he kind of like saves different part of reality and puts him into Battle World where he's the king, which that's exactly happens in the comics.
Yeah.
You know,
Also, what's funny
at
is-
times he's been portrayed as like a benevolent dictator, but like he's never really been like good.
But
like
he's the same as Magneto, in my opinion, where he'll
Plays
do
the line.
anything for Latveria.
if it benefits him specifically, I think that's the difference.
If it benefits
he's
Latveria,
he's more self-centered than Magneto is. I
Mag-
think it's more of a power thing.
but you're like thinking of X-Men 97 Magneto.
No, that's pretty commonly how Magneto's been portrayed for a long time. I mean, even think about all the movies and think about.
True. But I just think there is good in Doom. And I think he's not always been full.
You don't gotta always try and find the good in people.
I know, I'm just saying I think as a character, the way he's written, he is that way.
Okay, I mean, if they do play it that way, I'm not gonna be upset. I just might be a little let down.
I like Billy's idea though that he came up with, where he's using his face. That, in my opinion, I like that idea better, than the one that I was thinking, and
Like there's some ritual he does, and all of a sudden he gets his face.
Well,
and
because he's
everyone
magic,
knows
right?
it's not Tony Stark.
He's what?
he's magic, right?
Well, here's
He
his
does
powers.
have magic.
Yeah.
He's a scientific genius, knowledge of sorcery.
Yeah.
Learned from aliens on how to physically transfer his consciousness into the body of another person.
Oh, I mean, he could transfer his mind into Tony Stark.
Armor is a battle suit that increases his strength to superhuman levels and contains highly advanced weaponry. So interesting thing is his walking around weight is 225. When he's in his armor, he's 415 pounds.
Damn.
You got to be yoked to be able to handle that.
I mean, I'm
So-
sure it's augmented, but still. It's
Yeah.
like-
Kyle, you were saying the comics do something with the Tony Doom.
I don't remember that.
Like when we were talking to Discord, you said the comics kind of played with the idea, or they did something where it was like a amalgamation of them.
I didn't say that in our
Oh.
Discord. I did mention that they've always kind of presented Doctor Doom as like a definite rival to Tony Stark when it comes to like intelligence levels, and he's kind of like if Tony Stark was evil, then Doctor Doom. But I don't remember. It wasn't me that said that. Yeah.
So what do you think? What would you guys like better? If he uses magic to create the face of Tony Stark, or if he finds Tony Stark in his world and like body swaps?
Yeah, to me, I just want a quick explanation as to why he
So who would play him
looks like
before?
Tony Stark.
Like, do you think we'd see him?
If I'm being
It would
honest,
probably just be someone really scarred with like a shitload of makeup on.
it would have been
That's-
him.
that's
Just
a-
if we're-
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, if we're being
scarred.
honest, I don't like the fact that we have to try and figure out that caveat before we get to Doctor Doom. I would have preferred a different actor, if we're being
100%.
honest.
100%.
But now that we know it is for sure, then now it forces us to have this conversation of how it happens, and that feels like it's counteracting a better conversation of what we could be having is what is Doctor Doom going to do,
Yeah.
not how does he become Doctor Doom. And I don't. That's why I'm not a huge fan of this.
Completely agree.
I do have to say though, the one thing, because I agree to an aspect. The one thing is like on my Marvel faithometer, right? It's been kind of low with the whole Kang multiverse thing.
Yeah.
It isn't hype levels, but with the Russo's announcement, it went up a little bit. Like
So which movies did the
their
Russo
known
brothers do?
quantity. They did Winter Soldier, Endgame, Infinity War,
Civil War as well.
and Civil War. And so they're a known quantity, and I know they did some of the best, in my opinion, movies of the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
So like my hypometer went up a little bit. I'm not like super excited, but I have like I want to have faith in them. I really do. I because I haven't had faith in any of the writers or directors that they've been given the movies to.
I'm not like against I'm a fan of where it's trending, but I'm kind of with you. I'm not like sold on this.
Yeah.
This is going to work now, and almost the announcement of Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom almost did a disservice for me after the announcement of the Russos. And so I just, there was this meme that because they were like the greatest actor of all time, and I'm not knocking Rob Downey Jr.
Yeah.
because I really like him a lot actually, but there's this meme where it's like we got the greatest actor of all time to play Doctor Doom, a character that deserves the greatest actor of all time, and he takes it off as Robert Downey Jr. and somebody was like, "That's not Daniel Day-Lewis." Like I would have would have been incredible.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no. I feel like at this point, I don't know if the behind the scenes, maybe they're talking about this or whatever. Maybe they didn't know. Obviously, this has been in the pipe. Like they didn't know what level of success maybe Deadpool and Wolverine were going to be, right? Like these deals take. I mean, you don't just sign. You know what I mean? They figured this out.
They've been talking to the Russos for a while.
Exactly. So they probably figured this out maybe a year ago, 6 months. They're just planning, right? So they didn't really know how much this thing was going to pop off. And
I bet
maybe that was their way.
Ant-Man flopped. Ant-Man 3.
They were like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, because I think
Call the Russos.
Feige might think that like the MCU as we know it lives and dies with Tony Stark. You know what I mean? And so it's like we have to find a way for Robert Downey Jr. to be in this for people to stay interested. And it's like that because really all the original heroes, they're all pretty much gone. I mean, like we still have Thor, but that's in a bad place right now. Like they're all in really bad places. So how do you connect that string? Like how do you pull that through? And I think maybe what they're thinking is, okay, we'll just get Robert Downey Jr. to come back as, and he'll save the MCU because it lives and dies with him.
This will either be the best business decision they've made in the last 10 years or the worst. Like it could either be very successful or it can just kind of undo everything.
You gotta be delicate.
Yeah.
I say that, and it's like knowing the people involved, like this is the OG crew, like it's Robert Downey Jr. It's gonna be a good movie. It's just as a fan, it's probably just gonna be
like
if
who's
they
gonna
don't nail it, it's gonna be awkward.
Who's gonna lead the charge against Doctor Doom? Who's
Reed?
gonna? I guess
The
Reed.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
who
I
that
guess,
is?
but it's weird because that's a period piece that takes place in the 60s.
But
So what are they going to do at the end of the film to extend?
Well, you were saying
Wait, what?
The Fantastic Four film,
It's a period piece.
it takes place in the 60s.
So the movie that would like where they were in outer space and stuff, that's not really their origin story.
No, that's Fox. So that is the MCU technically, but that's not the one that's going to bring this version of Doctor Doom.
They are still probably going to be in space. Maybe.
In the
we don't know.
60s?
Yeah.
On like, okay, that seems weird.
I don't know. But
That's what I'm saying.
And then Tony Stark is like, is it his dad then?
well, it could be Howard. That'd be interesting. But well, Kyle, you were saying that brings more credence to your theory that he just steals his face.
Yeah.
You were saying that the universes collide, right? So that's how they bring him forward, I guess.
Well,
somehow.
they don't collide until Secret Wars. So the whole Doomsday movie would not take place with all these other
What if it
Avengers.
collides beforehand?
But that's the whole thing with Secret Wars is it all culminates
Well,
with all of the realities combining and then Battle Worlds created. And so that's Secret Wars. So it would have to the whole course of the movie would have to be all of these multiverses crashing in on one another. And maybe before that happens, maybe Doctor Doom has found a way to like go into in and out of different realities and stuff.
yeah. What if Doomsday is the multiverse shattering and Secret Wars is Battle World? Like specifically.
Oh, I mean, that's 100% what it's going to
Yeah.
be. I'm just saying there's a whole movie that has to happen before that happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out.
And I
what they're
wonder,
gonna do
do you
there.
know, even though it's a period piece, do you know, Kyle, is it like Fallout where it's like, it's
An alternate reality.
an alternate reality, but still running at this, like it's still 2020 whatever,
My theory.
but they're just use like different they all use old technology or something like that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. This version of Fantastic Four, because it does take place in the 60s, it doesn't happen on Earth 616.
Yeah.
It has to happen in a different reality. Otherwise, the Avengers would have heard of the Fantastic Four fighting this Doctor Doom guy. So maybe at the end of that film, something happens that brings them into Earth 616. Doomsday is around that, and then
He shatters.
he
the
shatters the
multiverse.
multiverse, and then
What if right after Tony Stark dies in 616, that's when Doctor Doom transfers his consciousness into Tony Stark,
into Tony Stark?
and it's like he's this shell,
Maybe it has something to
and
do
then
with.
he reanimates.
I'd be willing to bet that for even though they've never mentioned it up until the Deadpool films, but maybe Tony Stark was the anchor being for 616, and
Him dying.
that might have something to do
And then
with it.
that the TVA sent Doctor Doom to do this into that universe.
Or he took control of the and
To keep the timeline alive. or-
that something with that might come into play too. Because I could very easily see Tony Stark being the anchor being for 616.
Yeah.
Like
You think they can use the term anchor being and like still have an understanding with the audience? You think they
because
can
it
explain
was
'Cause it
because
just-
Well,
'cause
rated
it's a
R is exclusionary to
that? Partly that, and it's also just like it's just kind of like a one-off film, and that's such a defining thing in the universe now.
Well, so we have to think about what Kevin Feige said. He said that if
It's a level 8.
he said if Infinity War and Endgame are level 9 and 10 as in terms of effect they
Importance.
have on the MCU, Deadpool's an 8. So there has to have been something that happened in this movie that has an overall profound effect on the MCU. We just don't really know what it was yet. So there's something so the anchor being seems like the obvious thing.
That seems a big deal. Well, but the thing is they kept referencing 616 as the
Sacred timeline.
sacred timeline. So
what does that even mean at this point?
Yeah. So I mean, does the sacred timeline need an anchor being, or was it just the offshoot?
and
universes?
why is it sacred?
Maybe it's the sacred timeline because every time it goes in a direction that they don't like, they're slowly like adding things to it to, and maybe somehow Doctor Doom at the end of Fantastic Four or some point in the Doomsday movie realizes that and he takes over, somehow asserts himself into Tony Stark's consciousness and mind in the sacred timeline. And that's how he, is Tony Stark or whatever.
We did see Wanda put her mind across multiverses.
Yeah.
That's a thing we know that can happen.
Doctor Doom
And he does magic.
Doctor Doom is more powerful than Doctor Strange as well when it comes to magic. His like mastery over it, but also he has a Tony Stark level Iron Man suit, basically.
Yeah.
And he's supremely intelligent. He can outthink anyone, save for maybe like Reed Richards, which has been kind of a joke in the MCU. But Reed Richards is kind of like the antithesis
His rival.
to Doctor Doom. So is Tony Stark. I'd say Tony Stark, Reed Richards, and Doctor Doom are like the three most intelligent beings
Powerhouse.
when it comes to that realm.
And Pym.
Hank Pym is more specialized though.
Yeah.
He's not as overall like same
He's
with
also old.
like Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
He's very intelligent, but his
Gamma.
his intelligence limits is more specified in one area versus they're kind of like jack of all trades, these other characters.
Just everything.
Polymaths.
Yeah.
To go to more fun theory crafting, would you guys, because I read there's different versions of Doctor Doom as far as why he wears the mask and how his face is scarred. There's some where it's just a tiny cut and he like, that horrifies him because he's so vain. And so that's why he wear the mask. And the others, like his face is just deformed. What would you guys prefer? I think the tiny cut would be funny.
I think it might be good for his character.
Yeah.
If like maybe not even a cut. Maybe he's just so upset with like just the most minor of things, like the asymmetry
Like
of
a
like
mole.
freckles,
Yeah.
like, and how like that could be kind of poetic in a way where they're like talking about the monster within and he's constantly hiding it and he takes it off at one point and he like looks perfect.
Yeah,
You
he's
know
like,
what I mean? That could be pretty heavy
brace
symbolism.
yourselves.
So, but who would play that?
Apparently
Henry
Robert
Cavill.
Downey
Yeah,
Jr.
Robert Downey- yeah.
Oh wait, but that wouldn't be his true self, right?
If
That
we're
would
going
be-
with the theory that
They
he's
could
his
still
body
very
swap.
much have two different actors playing the same character.
Yeah. How
You
much
know?
is it actually going to be Tony Stark because he's just wearing a mask the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, they could have a whole different actor playing Doctor Doom, and then he could just take over the body of Tony Stark in like the last
5 minutes.
not the last 5 minutes, but like the
7
a portion of it, 13 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Daniel Day-Lewis. No, I'm just kidding.
I do agree. Like, it
Cillian
sucks
Murphy?
that this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, I feel like the
character
conversation could be
choice
a lot more
versus-
fun if we weren't having to discuss a whole theory on why Robert Downey Jr. is. And they could just be like, not even mention it at all. Maybe
Just
he,
pretend.
yeah, just
I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude.
Well, what kind of magic does Doctor Doom have? Because his is like,
Green.
is it green?
it's magic of the dark arts, meaning basically all
So
of
it's like
the,
the Darkhold.
it's all of the stuff that
Wanda.
that the sorcerers aren't allowed to study. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh.
it's that shit.
Do you think then they're going to prime Benedict Cumberbatch to become Sorcerer Supreme to take him down?
I don't. They. Ever since they made him not the Sorcerer Supreme, that he kind of has nothing to do.
Well,
This could very easily give him something
Yeah?
to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So they kill Wong.
No, he just hands him the
Oh.
crown.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Wong has to be it forever now.
Who do you think are going to be the big players against Doom? Like,
Definitely
is it characters? So obviously, the Fantastic Four, but Reed Richards specifically has to be one of the big characters against Doom.
Pedro Pascal.
I think Doctor Strange has to
What?
be. Pedro
You didn't know
Pascal
that?
is playing Reed Richards.
Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards.
We talked about it. I
Yeah.
thought, yeah.
I thought it was a joke.
I thought they were going to move on from that after the reaction of people.
Yeah.
I'm excited for him. I love Pedro.
I'm okay
A
with
little
it.
saturated, but yeah.
So he's definitely got to be one of them. It would make sense that Doctor Strange
Yeah.
would be one of the big
Magic.
players.
I don't think Thor could be in that movie.
I think he could be in it, but I don't think he's going to be one of the
Well,
big players against.
The Deadpool thing.
Yeah,
He'll be off with Deadpool.
Why is he crying?
Thor and oh yeah.
Why is Deadpool? Well, yeah. Why is Thor crying?
And that
He
that
got pepper
happens.
sprayed.
That happens in 616.
I think Franklin Richards is going to be a big thing.
I
Could
think
be.
Franklin Richards is the son of Reed Richards.
Right.
Extremely powerful.
Who's what do they call it? Like the
I forget, like one of the.
supreme being or something?
He's like on the level of fully Darkhold Wanda as
Yeah.
far as power goes. Like he can create pocket universes.
It's
and
like
shit.
him, Odin, and her
Yeah.
as like the strongest. of all
Oh, the words escaping
time.
me.
Yeah, keep
It's-
going.
Yeah. Do you? I mean, I know as much as Billy hates it, Spider-Man.
I think he'll be a.
You think he'll be with Deadpool and Thor?
I think he'll be important, but I don't think he's going to be a main player against Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Okay. Sam. Even saying that, my face kind of went.
Yeah, ew.
Sam, Captain America.
Captain America.
Well, I don't think that. I think he'll be involved, but I think he's not going to be.
Mr. No Powers.
I don't think he's going to be leading the charge.
Shang-Chi.
Whatever
Depends on
happened with him?
Depends on Shang-Chi
He get
too.
canceled. That movie did so well.
No, they're making the two.
They're still, yeah. They've just really slowed down on.
So I mean, depends on the second film, I guess. With Shang-Chi, he could be
Yeah.
a big player. Who else we got? We got Deadpool.
I don't think. I mean,
We know he's gonna interact with Thor somehow.
I wonder if they've released a cast list yet on Doomsday.
Doomsday.
And they named it that on purpose to like make people think of the Avengers instead of Doomsday from Superman.
Yeah.
Plot under wraps. So far, the Fantastic Four is for sure going to be in Doomsday. Pedro
Which
Pascal,
is
Vanessa
kind of a
Kirby.
given.
That should be obvious. The only actors confirmed for that movie so far is Robert Downey Jr. and the Fantastic Four
Fantastic Four.
for Doomsday.
What do you
Joseph
think-
Quinn as Johnny Storm.
What if they bring
Interesting.
back? Do you think they would bring back Wanda?
They would, but I'm kind of over Wanda.
Because they didn't show her. You know, they did the whole like her body.
She may or may not be
Yeah.
actually dead. What about Vision? What's this fuck been doing, man?
He's making Vision Quest
He's like, he comes to a realization that flies off. We never see him again.
for 10 years.
All right, what
So
do you got
Franklin,
on Franklin
Richards, son of Reed and Sue in Fantastic Four, was one of the most powerful mutants on Earth. As a young boy, he began to exhibit immense psionic powers. Using his ability to see possible futures, he became a member of the Power Pack under the name Tattletale.
Power Pack.
Tattletale.
God, that's a sucky ass name.
Tattletale.
And Nathaniel Richards, his grandfather, raised him in a realm outside of time, where he became the adult adventurer Psylord, and founded the Fantastic Force. Before Hyperstorm erased his adult form from existence.
Wow.
He was a permanent kid.
Hyperstorm. So does it say
Yeah.
what kind of being he is? Did it have the answer?
No, I don't see it.
You would absolutely hate this character.
I know. I just realized that.
You would absolutely hate this character.
I'm literally realizing that as I'm because I'm like, oh, it's cool, and I'm like, he's like a 12-year-old.
He's a permanent kid, and you're like, my faith has been shattered.
So I guess
I don't know if they'd really venture into doing that, bringing Franklin Richards in.
in chat they say they're bringing Wanda back for the new show on Disney, the Agatha All Along.
Yeah, in what capacity though?
I wonder,
Like, is it going to be like, I don't know.
is it evil Wanda?
I mean, it seems pretty obvious that she didn't die.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, but like, who are the heavy hitters? In my opinion, I know as much as you are sick of him, he's a heavy hitter.
Even I'm not necessarily
he
a
is.
fan of Spider-Man, though. I'm talking about people that are going to lead the offense.
They're bringing her back for the new show on Disney.
Yeah, we just said
Oh, sorry.
that.
Thanks for listening to us. You know, it really makes me feel appreciated.
Someone has to ignore you.
Echo. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Hawkeye.
Some random street level fighter.
Snowmobile
What about
Hawkeye.
Guardians? I guess we could have the Guardians.
I don't know how much they'd.
Like who from the Guardians? We have
It's honestly, I don't think
Um,
it's going to be anybody that was big players during the Infinity Saga.
so okay.
So try to
But
think of
except for
fresh-
Strange?
Except for Strange. Strange was probably the biggest player of the Infinity
Yeah.
Saga, but it wasn't like he was the one leading the charge. Like, he saw this all happening, but he kind of just let it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that I think his effect might be different. Even like when it comes to Guardians characters, what is his name? Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
You know, Adam Warlock would be really cool. Seeing a full strength Adam Warlock, not like a kid Adam Warlock.
Yeah, not like
you know
a
what I mean?
stupid baby. I guess you got America Chavez. I don't know.
I think really it's going to come down to the Fantastic
Yeah.
Four. Is gonna
What about, do you think they're going to bring the X-Men?
the X-Men could be huge.
Yeah. Like, cuz I was expecting and kind of surprised that we didn't learn anything really about like how like what was happening with the Fox universe. Like, you know, just kind of the way Deadpool ended was everybody survived and they're all happy and together in the Fox universe still.
Yeah, they didn't go into.
They didn't go
616.
into 616. So I wonder if they are going to bring the mutants over or what they're going to do with that. What do you think?
No idea. I think it's just we're so far out from like the plot. Who knows?
They're probably writing the plot right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I don't even know what they're even gonna go into. I mean, it's what's the setting? Is it in the 60s or in the future, or like that's gonna completely change how all this works? You know,
Well-
like who can be involved? Because then Spider-Man can't be involved.
Well, then we don't know too. Like I was saying, is it just it's the same time? It's just like Fallout where technology never advanced past the 60s.
I don't know.
You know, because that it could be that too.
I don't think it's
But-
that.
No.
So it's just like a warped reality that is
Yeah.
just stuck in time.
Well, not stuck in time, but they took a different direction and they never like their technological advances
Apparently, I mean,
just stayed looking like 60s.
apparently Henry Cavill has been cast for more than just a cameo.
Really?
Yeah, but like, is he just gonna play Wolverine, or would he actually play like his own character?
You know what? Loki.
Have
Henry
him be
Cavill.
Loki?
Just kidding.
No. Loki
He's not even
Oh,
with
could
us right
stand.
now.
I know.
Could stand up against Doctor Doom
Loki could be a huge player now that he's
He
like
could.
an anti-hero.
because he could then like he could mimic himself, right? So he's still actually his physical form is holding shit down, and he's actually like conversing with Doctor Doom. And at some point, they leverage him as like, "Hey, I have the power to erase you from all realities. You can keep fucking around like this."
Well, reality
You would love that, but they're not going to do that.
that wouldn't. So Loki loses a lot of that power at the end of Doomsday if
If all the
if
realities,
realities become one. So then Loki
He
goes.
has no bargaining chip.
He basically goes back to how he was pre Loki TV show.
Yeah.
But maybe that Feige says that that's the right thing to do.
What?
Maybe Feige says that's the right thing to do.
What is the right thing
Loki
to do?
to combine all stories into one?
I love
And
how
so-
like he simps so hard for Loki, and yet when we do this about Spider-Man, he's like, "Oh my god, you guys are so fun!" But he does the exact same shit for Loki.
Because like,
He's a quality actor. Tom Hiddlesticks.
yeah,
Tom Hiddlesticks,
not
Hiddlesticks,
Tom,
baby.
wrong Tom.
Not Tom.
not the other Tom.
No, he goes by Tommy.
What?
Tommy.
I don't think they call him Tommy.
He's like not even that much younger than us. He's like in his
No.
mid-20s.
I know.
He's like,
And he actually plays. He's a great actor. I have nothing against him from that. Did we read this one? Did you guys ever read Secret Wars or anything leading up to Secret Wars?
a long ass time ago.
I didn't.
I almost don't.
I know
wanna-
stuff that happens.
He goes right. He's gonna read it right.
I'm gonna
now.
pull it all off. No, I'm looking to see when it came out.
Like one part that excites me, and I know you're gonna just instantly turn off your ears, Billy, but Spider-Man. Yes. No, that's Secret Wars is originally
Yeah, the 80s.
when he gets his black suit.
They retconned that.
They retconned it to make it like an asteroid, but in the comics, that's the first time you see it is because it's like a gladiator battle world is like a gladiator world, and they have like sets of weapons and stuff. And there's
Basically-
this armor, and that's the black.
He was
suit.
actually even more powerful with the black suit originally, and it was
Is the black
because
suit Venom?
it wasn't
Yeah.
Venom
Well-
originally. Well, it was, but it's different. So the original origin story is Peter was getting fucked up in Battle World.
Through drugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, through fighting.
Why? So my question is,
And
can I just
he-
stop you real quick right there?
No, I was in the middle of.
But I want to talk about Battle World. Like,
Yeah, we still have time.
okay,
to talk
okay,
about,
sorry.
Where was I?
He was getting fucked up. And
On drugs?
Yeah, on drugs. And he needed the suit.
So the suit was it was given to him on Battleworld, and it uses like a living organism to enhance all of his abilities. And that was the original way that he like brought in the black suit. And then they retconned that in the series. So that is probably still a way. That's all I wanted to say.
So I just had a quick question.
Yeah.
What is Battle World? Like, I've read it a couple times here. Why do we care about it? Is it just like some alternate reality that's like self-contained? Why
I
do
think
we-
if I remember right, the Beyonder was the one that originally.
I think I
Yeah,
read that.
I have to look it up, but
Yes.
I think the Beyonder was the one that originally brought everyone in. But basically, it's the Coliseum for like all superpowered beings, and they'd fight to the death.
He wants
So
to
what's-
watch them fight.
So
he
what's
wants-
the problem with that?
What do you
Like,
mean?
why does it need to be saved, or why can't it
Forcing
just...
heroes to kill each other.
Like,
But if it's
all,
in its, like, own
all,
self-contained-
all realities become that. No other reality exists but that.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
is forced to fight each other. Like they're
Boy, they're going to definitely have to break up the
What if Henry
TVA
Cavill's
Yeah.
playing the
to be able to
Beyonder?
do that.
yeah, Henry. He does the fist pump.
Honestly, Henry Cavill kind of does look like the Beyonder. The Beyonder's got like that dark hair and
But
Kinda
so,
handsome
so do
looking
you
guy.
get why now it's important? Is because it like all the worlds collapse into the battle world.
And then there's someone...
they're forced to
and
fight.
Doctor Doom's the dictator of that world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, the Beyonders originally Doctor Doom kind of takes
Takes over.
because somehow he outsmarts the Beyonder. I don't remember how, but
What does the Beyonder
Dude.
look like? Yeah.
that kind of does look like Henry Cavill.
Heck, that could be him.
That's the Beyonder.
Huh.
That wouldn't work now that he's been cameoed as Wolverine though. Like I don't.
Have you read the Secret Wars, Daniel? I'm curious. Yeah,
honestly, I was like probably like 10
Then
last time I read it.
you guys are right. Then they're gonna have to absolutely nuke the entire idea of the TVA and everything
Yeah.
to have this battle world.
And I hope it's gritty. I hope we see do hope we see Spider-Man get beat up so that he needs the black suit. But like I want to see him.
I want to see beloved heroes die.
Yeah, like I want it to be real.
I
Not
want
just
like
a
I want
Pixieland.
I want real stakes.
What if Hulk had his head ripped off?
That's very possible.
Who could do that?
I don't know if
Canonically, I don't. Or
Oh,
whatever.
there are definitely beings out there. Like Beyonder could kill all of
Thor?
them easily.
Really?
Yeah, look up Beyonder's power levels right now. He is
Wolverine.
And Doctor Doom outsmarted him.
yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Isn't he beyond?
That's the guy that we're that's why we
That's
need someone
the guy.
amazing to pull this off.
And I guess that
Henry
was.
fucking Cavill. Samuel L.
Samuel Jackson is
I just start recasting it. It's Chris Evans.
everyone's just getting
Oh my
recast.
God, Chris Evans. See, that's the stupid thing because they now they're gonna be enticed to bring some of these characters back for shit like that and be like, well, you can just take on a new role.
They've already shown in Deadpool that one character could play two different people
Yep.
and not be related with Chris Evans.
Oh,
but-
so it's actually he's not. It doesn't look like he's necessarily one being. It's a race of cosmically powered beings named the Beyonders, and created the energy that became the cosmic cubes. Is that separate from Infinity Stones?
that's
They'll probably
separate.
say it's Infinity. I bet they'll be
just
like
spin it as Infinity Stones.
Infinity Stones.
So these guys created the Infinity Stones.
They'll probably say that. I can see them
One
doing
of these cubes gained sentience and called itself the Beyonder. Okay.
Yeah.
that. Oh,
And he looks like Henry Cavill.
Wow. And at times this entity was believed to be the embodiment of another universe or even mutant inhuman.
oh,
whatever
I did
that
have
is.
a question. So, while he reads that, Franklin Richards is a mutant, but
Yeah.
the Fantastic Four aren't.
No, they got their powers through other means.
That-
Humans can have mutant children.
I know, but
Happens all the
so
time.
how do you distinct between them just passing down powers because they have
It
powers?
very well could be, but he was the mutants. Really, all it really is, if you're a mutant, is if you're born on Earth and you're born with those powers, then you kind of just get classified as a mutant.
I guess. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Dude, this guy is. I don't even know how you capture this on
Henry
screen.
Cavill.
Like, if this guy goes 1v1 versus Spider Man, it's a fucking joke.
Well, he that's his thing. He would never go 1v1 against a hero, but
he likes
he
wants-
finds enjoyment
And
out
like
of
watching it.
Yeah,
Virtually omnipotent, the Beyonder can change reality just by thinking. He has assumed various physical forms, created planets, destroyed galaxies, and taken control of every mind on Earth.
Yep. And Doctor Doom outsmarts him.
Who's human.
So this is just a super quick synopsis. All right, this probably doesn't encapsulate all that happens, but while the Beyonders this is how he collapses the multiverse, Doctor Doom. While the Beyonders decimated all who opposed them, including cosmic entities, Doom built a bomb using the Molecule Men after he had realized killing them was not going to save the multiverse. Doom used the Molecule Men bomb to slay the Beyonders and then steal their power. So there's going to be a lot that goes into it, but Doom essentially, either at the end of Secret Wars or at the end of his own film, is going to do this to this guy somehow. If they pull this off in a successful way, it's going to be fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's going to be the most wild shit you've ever seen.
By Beast.
You know who we could have? Big Hero 6.
Naturally.
I didn't know that was a thing before Disney. Look at that. It says September 1998 was the first time Big Hero 6
Big
appeared.
Hero 6 that's why Stan Lee makes a cameo in that movie. Wow. It's a Marvel film. It's a cartoon, it's Pixar, but still.
He could show up in Battle World.
But the fact that he could just...
How do they portray someone like this on film?
I don't know, because he can literally warp reality.
Oh.
Which is reality by thinking.
They
So
probably
he could literally
scale him
take-
way down.
They could take, midget Hugh
Wolf,
Jackman. Yeah.
Like literally
Yeah.
scale him down.
Dude,
He's just a little guy. But no, it's he could literally just fucking think, "Oh, I'm going to swap the Incredible Hulk. His hands are now fucking glued together. Or like yeah, exactly. You can't fucking
Like
do
Wanda.
anything. Or he's stuck in the ground, or his muscles are actually water balloons.
Yeah.
Like
So what ultimately would have to trip him up is the fact that it has to be his own vanity. Somehow-
Dr. Doom has to appeal to him.
Somehow Doctor Doom has to do something that appeals to the Beyonder in a way that he's going to have to figure out a way to outsmart him.
But he's
in a way that only
omnipotent. I don't know. Occupation is criminal. That's what he does.
What are you? Has all these powers. I'm a professional criminal.
Unprofessional. Did you guys see, not to change topics, but you reminded me, so they did test footage of Fantastic Four or something like that at Comic-Con. Did you see the leaked image of Galactus?
No.
No?
Mm.
You guys want to look it up?
Leaked image of Galactus?
Yeah.
How does that look?
He looks pretty cool. It's better than a cloud. I'll tell you that.
Doctor Doom's greatest power-up happened in Secret Wars, where he amassed so much raw power that he became hailed as God Emperor Doom.
That's not the image.
This is the one you were hyping?
No.
This is the greatest.
That's like a Future Fight's like a mobile app.
This one?
No. Go to like images. It's him looking through like right there. That middle one, down.
Fortnite
Right.
Season 4.
Right there. That's the one.
That's a leaked image.
Yeah. So and this is like they just started filming.
Can we make
So
it
this
so they
is
can
like
see?
previs.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I just want to pull it up. Here we go. Oh, hold on. There we go. Boom. There we go. It almost reminds me of Dormammu.
I think it looks cool. I think it reminds me of like the Eternals, like the I mean he is.
I'm trying to get a sense of scale. Like, is
I think
this just like
that's-
6 feet, like from nose to eyebrow, or is he much bigger than that?
Who knows? Maybe he can shrink himself.
Is Galactus a hero or villain?
Villain.
He's a villain. He literally eats planets.
So, where's our heroes coming from?
That's what I'm saying. Who are the players? It's
Well,
not
this is-
Spider-Man. I'll tell you that much.
He's
Like,
Fantastic Four guy. And they got
Yeah.
like they cast the Silver Surfer. So and that's their whole story.
as Harold.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cast Silver Surfer and the female version of Silver
Yeah.
Surfer.
And like that's the whole story is the only reason the Fantastic Four win is because Silver Surfer becomes a good guy / girl. Good girl.
Silver Surfer is very powerful. He's, like Superman level of powers, but he's up there for
Didn't
sure.
he make a appearance in Fantastic Four?
In the OG
Fox.
Fox one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Voiced by Lawrence Fishburne. Morpheus from...
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That guy's a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's still set up for the Eternals,
It is.
but you can't.
But they seemingly abandoned that.
Yeah, right.
So,
It's like, okay, you've had Superman
You know who
in
it is?
Marvel.
It's Blade. They're gonna bring Blade in.
there's only one blade, motherfucker.
Galactus, I've come to bargain.
Like, do we
Doctor
sit
Strange.
here...
He has to be he has to become Supreme Strange.
Yeah. Do we sit here and do we like say, we just have to have faith in Marvel, or like like Kevin Feige, or like should we panic that they are
The sad thing
shooting
is,
really high?
the sad thing is like if they're gonna play with Galactus, his scale makes everything awkward.
Well, I think
You can't show combat of like
Unless he's fighting
unless he's
other
fighting
eternal
Ant-Man.
beings.
Unless he's fighting Ant-Man, who can scale up to him and just have a fucking fist fight.
It's just like a boxing match, no powers, just tall.
Well, so I
Size
mean,
of a
this is
planet.
from the movie, the Fantastic Four movie. So what that tells me is that the movie Fantastic Four, the main villain is probably going to be Galactus and not Doom.
He has to have like
Like he'll show up probably, but the main villain is Galactus.
I think they're gonna scale down powers.
or do you
for
think
the
they like
films.
solicit the help from another Celestial.
They could do that
They
too.
like
Airshim?
somehow, or whatever, and we have like a fucking
Dr.
I'm a
Doom?
fire in my laser moment where they just
What if Doctor Doom somehow absorbs the power of Galactus?
Doctor Doom will get involved and he will help. Like, truthfully, only if it benefits him. So if he sees some kind of outcome of like, if I help them, I can usurp these powers somehow. He'll jump in for sure.
What if like the movie pauses and like the Watcher walks out and it's like, not on my watch.
Not on my watch.
And then the movie just ends.
Yeah. Snaps his fingers and resets reality.
But he can't do that. He just watches.
Doesn't get involved.
It's illegal.
It's against the rules. The one above all says so.
I don't know, man.
Now we're just getting like ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you'd imagine,
Now we finally are ridiculous.
if you could imagine any of these things even being in the discussion 10 years ago, it just you couldn't. No one was thinking this.
No.
We're gonna kill off Tony Stark and then we're gonna bring him back.
And then
Dr.
we're gonna
Doom.
introduce
Are you
just the insanity of all these superpowered characters. Look,
I am a little disappointed that I'm happy that Galactus looks like that and he's not a cloud. But I am kind of sad that that's who they're going to use for the first Fantastic Four movie.
yeah, it seems like a lot.
What if?
And we've already seen that
Huge.
movie,
Hold on though. If we're talking about the dream, what is it? The Dream World or Battle World?
Battleworld. Yeah.
Couldn't it be theoretically possible that fucking Odin's there?
Yeah, no, I mean
Yeah.
it could. Like
That would be legit.
a supreme powered Odin.
Because we're all exact. Well, he fucking is.
Yeah,
It's like that would be sick when he's like full
It's
powered.
the Loki type thing again, where he's just like,
It's the yeah. What is it?
yes.
It's that whole side of the spectrum where they're just they're the only ones that have the right power scale for this. All right, Odin can. Boom,
well, no.
boom.
This
Here we
is the
go.
thing. I don't
A
think.
young version of Odin, Henry Cavill.
dude.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Henry Cavill's British,
he is.
That's what I'm saying.
But the thing
It's
I'm
confirmed.
saying is,
naturally.
Naturally,
You heard it. Here
I don't
first.
think he's going to be in Battleworld because I think he's the main villain of the
and
movie.
that's why he's crying, because he's sad that his dad's better looking than him now.
Who's crying?
Thor with Deadpool.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. But I don't think Galactus is going to be involved.
Did it look like Thor though? It
think
looked
he's
like
just-
Matt Damon, didn't it?
No, it's Thor.
It did.
That was-
But it was like
For a
old
second,
Thor.
It was stock footage from the Dark World.
Was
when
it? That's
Loki
why
died.
it looked weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because he'll be in the first movie doesn't mean he's gonna just end.
I know, but I'm just
The
saying,
first
I
one.
don't like. He said, "Who can rise up to fight him?" I think it's gonna just be the Fantastic Four. Like I think, and
Yeah.
maybe Doom and the Silver Surfers.
Let me stretch around him. I got him.
Like, get the fuck out of here! I know.
His
know
powers,
how you show
honestly,
that on
Reed
screen.
Richards, his powers of like stretchingness, that's actually just such a small part of what he offers to anything. It's really his intellect
Yeah.
and
Strategic planning.
Yeah.
Estate planning.
his escape.
Financial.
Financial
He's really
planning.
good at setting up
Forecasting.
trusts.
Yep.
for-
Forecasting.
Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get your stocks all
Mergers,
set.
acquisitions.
He's kind of like a jack of all trades, financial. He'll handle it all. It's incredible what he can do with your estate.
He's the king
One
of the
could say
forex
it's
market.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic.
He'll help you make
I think we need to edit
figures.
on that. I don't know. Wouldn't that be kind of sick though? Like
Four
we're already
figures.
introduced to Odin.
I'm making tens of dollars.
Yeah.
What if it's Odin and Hela in their prime, and they're rolling.
They're rolling in the
They're
deep.
fucking rolling.
I'm not.
I'm for it.
I'm not.
You're not?
I feel the same way you feel about Spider-Man
And
right
how
now.
does it feel? You feel that hate boiling in that gut? That lower
No.
gut?
But it's just funny.
Oh, okay.
It's funny.
It's just funny that you're a
Again,
bit of
Franklin.
a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Franklin. So Daniel says again. Franklin Richards makes Galactus his
bee.
bitch.
He does. Franklin
Yeah.
Richards, we're talking about who can fight the Beyonder, too. On top of that, Franklin
Oh,
Richards could
and I
easily.
immediately hate this movie because it's a 12-year-old going. I got Galactus. Whee!
Like he's Peter Pan or
Yeah.
something.
Well, we don't even know if his kid's in the movie. Do we?
No, but in theory, it's
if
possible.
Galactus is there,
But they beat him last time in the Fox universe without
They beat
Franklin.
Galactus?
They did.
That was a very poor rendition
was.
of Galactus.
I don't even recall.
It was Silver
was
Surfer.
a
Is that where they
Cloud.
shot the thing into the sky or whatever?
No, Silver Surfer like let him
That's
away.
you're
Oh.
thinking of October Sky. It's a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal about model rockets.
Yes, that
Yeah,
movie.
That one. Yeah, floating things, flying things, yeah. No, dude, that would be kind of sick. Odin and Hela, just full fucking power. We're already introduced to the characters. We already know their power scale. Odin had to be nerfed for this to make any sense. Well, you know what? You've introduced power creep. All right? Your game has evolved. And there's power creep. Let's bring back some
You
power.
want this so bad, but
Because it would be sick. Henry
think it
Cavill
will
is
happen.
fucking Odin in his prime. Literally the fucking dude. Every list starts with him as like the supreme power.
I'm so happy that you're excited, but
Juiced.
my believability that this will happen is like at 1
Juiced.
out of 100.
I don't think I've ever got more than 10% though in this whole conversation about anything we
Yeah.
discussed whether or not these things are going to happen.
Oh, I think we're at 0% of us predicting
Yeah.
anything.
I think that we've
What if we nail it?
Let's
Everything
take
we
a
said
wild
was
guess
right.
here. Iron Patriot is going to
Brody.
Brody, baby. Bring him
No,
back.
Iron Patriot, Harry, or
Magneto
Roman.
comes back and saves the day. Galactus is all iron. He just moves him.
Crushes him.
You're mine, bitch.
He's controlling him like a puppet in a fight.
What's happening?
Is his metal like not work against Magneto, or could Magneto just fuck him up?
His is completely non-magnetic.
Ah,
You know, it's
The Moon Knight.
I mean, he's in the universe. He
You
had
guys
a show.
are killing me, LOL. Molecule Man.
well, he's going to be in the.
They
He's
need
actually
a bomb. They make a
he's
bomb.
one of the contributing parties to defeating the Beyonder Molecule Man.
They create a bomb out of him.
Tom Cruise plays him.
Apparently,
He's 5'7".
Molecule Man. Apparently, Doctor Doom somehow creates a bomb out of Molecule Man. So does he torture and kill him? to
Put him
crea-
inside of a ball.
I don't know what he does. I haven't. God, I was a kid. You know. I don't even remember that part. I wonder, is there a different version of Secret
gets
Wars?
it, man. Wow. God dang.
Kind of looks like a hotter version of Cassandra Nova.
I was gonna say. I thought that was Cassandra Nova. What if we bring in Reaper?
Reaper.
Red Ghost.
Lobo? We could have Henry Cavill. No, that's you need that's DC,
Lobo.
right?
I don't even know who Lobo is.
The-
What if they
Uh,
spawn in Thanos?
I don't need Thanos.
there we go.
here.
Let's have Thanos.
Thanos would be like, man, I really had no effect
Yeah.
on anything.
Let's have Thanos play Doctor Doom. Like not Josh Brolin, just Thanos.
so
Josh Brolin as
Thanos.
Thanos.
So Josh Brolin as Thanos, acting as
As
an actor
Dr.
for
Doom.
Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
What if they
Now you're
put-
starting to make sense. Before I wasn't believing anything you were saying.
Hear me out. They put Hulk in a giant torture chamber, indestructible, and they torture him until he just gets angrier and angrier
And
and,
then he dies.
angrier, and he keeps getting bigger and bigger and more jacked, and then they unleash him to fight Galactus, 1v1, mano y mano.
Planet Buster Hulk, might have a chance.
Possibly, yeah.
But Planet Buster Hulk actually, he fought heroes. He didn't fight villains.
Need to see it.
You need to see it.
Hawkeye,
I mean, he's still around.
Human.
What
Torch.
if we
Flame
have
on?
all the kids that they've set up? We have Kamala. We have Hawkeye Jr. We
Oh no,
have
no.
Kamala Khan. We have
All led by Peter Parker.
This is how they do it. This is how they do
all
it.
led by Peter Parker.
the Kid Avengers.
The TVA shatters to create this battle world. All of the Infinity Stones that they had collected drop into the universe, and somebody has like 6 Power Stones.
I'm over the Power Stone.
I'm over the Infinity Stones.
Power
too.
Stones? They're called Power
I'm
Stones.
just talking at this point, and
Well,
it's
he's
really
saying
sad.
Yeah.
if there's multiple Power Stones, and so it's a gauntlet of all Power Stones
Yeah.
instead of like
It's it's
Oh.
just it's bedazzled with
just-
power with Infinity
Oh.
Stones.
it's all
purple.
power, all
It's
purple.
all purple. Just God! Like the whole universe shifts.
I mean, honestly,
You're gonna take the Milky Way and push
Push
it
it
somewhere.
on 3, 1, 3.
that would. I mean, as silly as that sounds, I would love to see that animated or done like with CG.
Heart of the Beast Hulk. Is that a person?
Beast Hulk?
Heart of the Beast, he says.
Heart of the Beast Hulk.
What is that?
I don't have any knowledge on this.
Me neither.
We're finding it
I'm a
out.
big Hulk fan. Let's fucking dive into it. So Hulk, I gotta go to H.
Oh, the new biggest player is Ned Leeds with this
Morbius.
Heart of the Beast.
Morbius, guys.
Heart of the Beast Hulk.
Morbin time.
Morbin time. We bring in Jared Leto.
Hercules. Well, technically, he's in the.
He
universe.
is.
Zeus.
Yeah, they're gonna come after Thor.
Howard the Duck.
Yes.
The Incredible Hulk.
Heart of the Monster Hulk. Stronger than Immortal Hulk?
Stronger than Immortal Hulk?
Yeah. Heart of the
Beast.
well, everything when I typed Heart of the Beast, it pulled up Heart of the Monster Hulk.
Heart of the Monster Hulk. I don't see anything in my encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia.
Heart of the Monster. It's newer. Let's see. Jarvis found the location. Okay, that's not Heart of the Monster Hulk's iconic mission.
Hulk weighs 1,040 pounds. That's insane.
Nice.
He's so shredded, dude.
Do you think he's natural?
Straight
He's
daddy.
juicing.
I would love to see like more plates, more dates, or whatever. Do a breakdown, like
A review.
see here, he's really angry. Right
Derek
now.
from moreplates.com does a breakdown on the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, wait, here we
breaks
go.
down his cycle.
Dude, the Hulk is the only one that has 2 fucking pages. Are you finding anything? What is this? The Heart of the Beast? Hulk?
It's a whole story arc called Heart of the Monster. Evidently he becomes very, very, very powerful at the end of it.
Whoa! I just read huge spoilers.
Hulk is Bruce Banner.
Hulk turns to Doctor Doom to physically separate him from Banner, taking part of his brain and putting into a clone body. Banner eventually figured out how to make them whole again. Oh, okay. Well, that sucks.
The Hulk scene in
That's
Heart
crazy.
of the Monster Hulk essentially is World Breaker Hulk, taking a whole new level of power among the strongest forms of Hulk has ever assumed. It perhaps peaks the story's finale when Hulk and Red She-Hulk are tricked back to Earth to confront a gamma-charged Fin Fang Foom. Absorbing the energy and Dragon had stolen Hulk's giant size, only the realization outposts Earth stops Hulk with the last of the wishing well's power. All of Hulk's return to normal. I need an example of power levels, though. Like, what did he do that, other than them just saying he's so powerful?
He's the Hulk. Okay.
2 are one and the same.
They need to have. They could have done that to revive the MCU. Just a really good Hulk movie. Some
How strong is
off-planet
World
thing.
Breaker Hulk? World Breaker Hulk was stronger than any mortal and most immortals in the Marvel Universe, but
There's a lot.
I need something to. I need to visualize and see
He could
like what
flick
is he
his
doing.
finger and destroy
World
the
Breaker
universe.
Hulk feats. He pulled together the tectonic plates of a planet.
That would be a scene. We're having an earthquake. He just locks the fucking tectonic plate down. I got this.
That is pretty fucking wild. Stronger than Hercules. Physically.
There's a thing called the Pantheon Team. This
So-
is focused on disaster relief and rescue missions.
So World Breaker Hulk has seemed to be able to lift the weight of 2 octillion tons. In other words, he could move stars
Yeah.
and not die from them.
2 stars. Not 1. One in each hand, just.
How much?
Yeah,
is
I'm
an
looking it up too. I
octillion?
can't find like feats of Heart of the Beast or Heart of the Monster.
It's World Breaker Hulk. Heart of the Monster, Heart of the Beast is that storyline.
But it says Heart of the Beast goes beyond, is what I found right here. It says
It's his final form.
pretty much. It says, let me find where.
An octillion is a trillion quintillion.
1 trillion quintillions.
What are these fucking numbers? How much is an octillion? It is 1 followed by 27 zeros.
What the fuck?
So
Bring the Hulk back.
so he can lift 2 followed by 27 0 tons.
So if I ever see him 1v1ing Black Widow, all right, I'm gonna have a fucking problem.
They got plenty of 1v1s.
It's getting real late, big guy. That's my one weakness.
Instantly depowers.
See, so in the Dark Dimension, the Hulk admits to his allies that when he had previously taken on the World Breaker form, he had always been holding back.
Oh, Jesus. What the fuck?
And he's in the Dark Dimension, which allows his potential to grow even further beyond. Like Super Saiyan 3.
What
And this is to go even further. Yeah.
So maybe once he learns about this existential threat, he goes to the Dark Dimension.
Yeah, without the need for restraint, Hulk's power can grow exponentially, it says. In the Dark Dimension is where he goes.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. That's
And
my guy.
It just says the Hulk scene here is the World Breaker taken to a whole new level of power. It's like, what does that mean, though? What does that
So-
mean?
I don't even think they can interpret it. Like you just need to know. Yeah.
The only
Okay.
feat
He was
that
holding
World
back.
Breaker Hulk did that they've been able to put a scale on it is yes, he was able to move the entire sun, and the sun is 2 octillion metric tons, which is a 2 followed by 27 zeros.
And
He
was
moved it. So
holding,
he somehow flew into it and moved it.
Yeah,
and he was holding back.
and apparently he was holding back moving the fucking sun.
Oh.
I think we're not. I mean,
We're never getting that Hulk. I don't.
that's
what-
not gonna happen.
Because what does that look like, dude? He's just this little guy. He's like little guy, still 8 feet, but then like can come move a sun. They zoom out and it's like you don't even see him anymore, and it's like it's moving.
Why is the sun moving? Why did he have to move the sun? I need to read this story. Figure
Yeah.
out what this is.
Thank you for that, Daniel, because that's some interesting shit, man.
My God.
Well, boys, Dylan, where can they find us?
They can find us on
This is
YouTube,
fun.
Instagram, Spotify, any major podcast listening platform, as well as every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We stream right here on YouTube, live. We're coming at you. Smash that like button.
Like and subscribe.
Ding the dong,
Ding the dong.
And enjoy it.
and enjoy it. Yeah, come join us.
And
Come
reap the
chat
benefits.
and listen to our nonsense about.
Oh no, these were 100% spot on predictions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you'll
You're-
see.
you're right.
You'll see.
We're actually in Feige's in our pocket.
Here's the thing: we said so many outlandish, crazy things. We went so many directions tonight that inevitably there will be something that lands. And it will be super minor, but it'll land. And we'll be like, remember when we predicted this?
We called it.
We so called it.
We knew there would be dramatic lighting.
There's a sad moment. Sad moment.
We fucking knew it.
I knew that they're gonna play in on the weight, the emotional weight of that choice.
I knew they had music. It's just like-
It's a movie. I told you.
We've been right at least 20% of the time.
At least.
Yeah.
We nailed the Elden Ring hand.
Yeah.
So we're going to be right a second hand. Clock's right twice a day.
What were we right
Broken
about Elden
clock.
Ring?
I was
The
like,
hand?
a regular clock should be right all the time, but a broken clock,
But how right is right?
that's left.
That's right.
What did we predict in Elden Ring?
The hand for the DLC.
The hand?
Where you touch the hand to go
The
to
most
DLC.
obvious
Oh.
prediction for it of the
I was
whole.
like,
We were on the cutting edge, though.
The thing that 99% of all the other players
Internet.
predicted.
We were first, though.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And I will think that until someone
We were
goes
definitely
first.
right about all our predictions around Cyberpunk several years back.
Yeah. Yep.
Each
We got
level,
all those.
We got all those.
Pan Am. Mm-hmm.
We've been doing this for
Bam.
4 years now. Almost.
And remember, good kitty, you get it done.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.